First, it's 3 days since the disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein was charged with rape and several other counts of sexual abuse. If found guilty, he could face up to 25 years in prison. He denies all allegations of non-consensual sex and is expected to plead not guilty. These are the first charges brought against Weinstein, even though more than 70 women have accused him of crimes ranging from rape to sexual misconduct. Well, one of the first to make such an accusation was the actor Rose McGowan, who has written about her ordeal in her memoir, Brave. She's also helped to spark the online movement MeToo, which has inspired hundreds of thousands of women to open up about their experiences of abuse and sexual assault. She joins us now live from London. Thank you very much for joining us for the France 24 interview.
Thank you.
Now, you first accused the man you refer to in your book as the monster back in 1997. He was finally put in handcuffs on Friday. Tell us, how did it feel to see those images after such a long time trying to get justice?
It's kind of like a surrealistic landscape. Watching him in handcuffs was just something, honestly, I never thought I would see, and something that's been so gratifying and I think has really helped and will help a lot of his victims.
He is expected to plead not guilty. There have even been unconfirmed reports, I should say, that he's been planning to stage some kind of comeback. Do you think that this is someone who truly believes he's done nothing wrong?
I believe he may well be a sociopath, and sometimes sociopaths really believe they've done nothing wrong. I don't really care what he believes, because I know the truth, and so do many, many other women.
You say he wouldn't have been able to do what he did to you and to so many other women without an army of enablers and conspirators, some of whom were actually women. Do you think those people will ever face justice?
I think they'll have to face their own special kind of justice, because I don't think it's something that will happen. No, I don't think they'll face justice, not in the legal sense.
Let's talk about the MeToo movement that you, of course, helped to create. It exploded very, very quickly. Dozens of high-profile and powerful people, mainly men, were accused of misusing their power, and lots of women felt empowered by the movement. But do you think it actually achieved anything in concrete terms? Did it change attitudes? Did it make men think twice about abusing their power?
Well, I can't go into every man's head around the world, or women, or anybody that abuses their power, but I think it sends a really strong signal that abuse of power won't be tolerated. Not anymore. And I think people are going to be a lot less likely to protect those that abuse power. Because we all know, we've all worked at those places where there's just the rot at the top. So if everybody complains about the same rot, get rid of it.
The MeToo movement, it also spawned other movements, the Time's Up movement being the most well-known, perhaps. That raised millions of dollars for a legal defence fund, which is designed to help women who suffer from sexual harassment. And it also, famously got a lot of Hollywood actresses to dress up in black for the Oscars ceremony. You've called that movement a PR stunt. Why is that? And why is it different to your movement, the MeToo movement?
Well, it's not. It's how it was formed. It was formed by the heads of an agency called CAA in response to being attacked for sending, rightfully so, for sending so many women to these hotel rooms, so many young girls who told them, and other agencies. They're not the only agency, they're just the biggest. And so in response, they kind of formed Time's Up. I think it's well-meaning, I hope. I just don't know, the money that they're raising is not for any victims of Weinstein or people that have been abused by Hollywood. I hope that the money gets dispersed, and I hope they help a lot of people.
Do you think the fact that the MeToo movement started in Hollywood has made it difficult for some people to empathise with the victims? Because, we've been talking a lot about very beautiful, very wealthy, very privileged
You're right.
actresses.
If we're wealthy and beautiful, we should absolutely have no recourse, we should have no say. And by the way, we're not wealthy. By the way, we had our careers stolen. So I'm not sure what wealth you're talking about.
No, okay, I'm talking about ordinary people and how, because, you know, there has been talk about
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Me Too fatigue and people saying...
I disagree with it.
But Hollywood is an industry that is, to a certain extent, founded on women, you know, perfect-looking women selling their the way they look and selling sex, essentially.
Are you kidding me with that question?
Selling an image. Hollywood women tend to be very...
Who sells them? Men sell that image.
But do you think that is partly why people have trouble empathizing with some of the women?
I think it might just be you.
Okay. Do you think there is some kind of
frankly,
Me Too...
I don't really get that question. No, I don't get that question a lot.
Well, you know, for example...
I think actually Me Too spans around the globe. I'm not going to speak for that. But I think it's about abuse of power no matter where you are. And I think if you're beautiful, I'm sorry, apparently you have trouble mustering any sadness for that. But I think beautiful people get hurt just as well as non-beautiful people.
Absolutely.
And it destroys lives across the board. It destroys lives across the board.
I wanted to ask you...
And that is also a kind of discrimination.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you about what happened here in France. There was a furious row when 100 French women, including the actress Catherine Deneuve, denounced the movement as, she called it a puritanical witch hunt, and said that it, you know, risked making men scared to approach women, ask them out, make a compliment. What are your thoughts on that?
I really, honestly, I don't so much feel like continuing this interview. It's just really, like, you know, I wanted...
But Catherine Deneuve, she's a fellow actress.
I don't think much of it.
You don't think much of what Catherine Deneuve had to say? It was a big...
I understand. I'm not
here.
really into your line of questioning. I have to tell you the truth. It's pretty tawdry, and it's not very elevated.
But this is not my personal. This is not my personal opinion. This is what Catherine Deneuve and 100 other French women said.
Right. Well, you're all very modern and current there, aren't you?
Well, I'm just a journalist. I wasn't one of the women who signed the letter. I'm just asking you, what is your opinion?
I mean,
I'm sorry if you find that offensive. I'm absolutely not trying to offend you. I'm just... There was a debate.
This is, like, I'm not here to debate. Like, I'm not here to debate. If they're that stupid, that's really not my problem.
Okay, where do you see...
If you can't tell the difference between sexual harassment and somebody lightly flirting, then the problem is in your head.
Absolutely, but there is, you know, some criticism that there has been trial by social media, you know, because anyone can go online and say that a man has done something to them. That man's career and reputation can be ruined. Should we always automatically believe women and what women say?
Mostly, yes, I would say so, because coming out, you get questions like ones you ask me.
We should always believe women over men?
What is the point? It's not believing women over men. Oh my God, these are really simplistic questions. It's not quite that simple. There's some nuance that goes on here. I do think that most of the time, these men have actually committed crimes, things that are actually criminal under law. So when we get sad for them losing their jobs, I get sad that they don't go to jail.
But we do have laws, and we do have police, and we do have a legal process. So
then take it up with their bosses. Because I can guarantee you those bosses at these places knew about this stuff, if it's not the boss themselves.
Okay. Rose McGowan, a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you ever so much for joining us.